done it here. It's a restaurant. They serve food. Can't be that different in Germany and the US, right? Well, actually, I already made a video about the restaurant experience in Germany, so now I'm going to look at the restaurant experience in the US. And you quickly arrive at the first big difference as soon as you walk through the door. In Germany, I've noticed that at least at restaurants that aren't so fancy, you're often allowed to choose your own table from any of the tables that don't already have a little reserved sign on them. Not in the US. In the US, you usually need to wait at the front of the restaurant for the host or hostess to bring you to your table. Why? Because in the US, there are strict server sections. Each server has a particular section for their shift. Good customer service is a part of the restaurant experience in the US, so they don't want one server to get overwhelmed with too many tables all at once and then not be able to give each table that customer service, which might very well happen if the patrons were just allowed to sit at whichever table they want. And also, servers make most of their money from tips in the US. So the job of the host or the hostess at the front of the restaurant is to spread the people out around the restaurant so that all the servers get a table and an opportunity to make some tips. So if you show up at a restaurant and you see empty tables, but you're told you can't sit there, or you're told that there's a wait for a table, that would be why. Either the server just got a table and so that server cannot take on another table at the moment, or maybe for that particular shift, there's no server at the restaurant for that section of tables. If there's a wait at the restaurant, then you'll often be offered to put your name on a waiting list. You give them your name and then you can go wait at the bar sometimes if there's a bar, or maybe walk around nearby for a few minutes, or sit in the waiting area. Sometimes they will even give you a little buzzer that goes off and lets you know when your table is ready. And this, in particular, is something that I have never experienced in Germany. I have never gotten a little buzzer. I've never waited for a table in Germany. They just tell me like, no, I'm sorry, all the tables are full. Goodbye. Once you're seated at your table in the US, you order drinks first, and then after that, you place your food order. And just a heads up, tap water is usually free, and fountain sodas usually have free refills. But fountain sodas, not sodas that are brought to your table in a can. If the soda comes in the can, then you do have to pay for each can that you get. And unless you specify otherwise, the cold beverages will usually come with lots and lots of ice cubes in them. So if you don't want the ice cubes in your drink, be sure to say so when you order it. All right, so you got your drinks. Now you need your food. In Germany, people often say Guten Appetit before eating, but in the US, not so much. Sometimes someone will sporadically decide to say Bon Appetit, or like, looks good, let's eat. But it's definitely not a thing that has to happen in the US for the meal to start. Okay, so dig into your food. Time to eat with your hands? Yes, that's right. I have noticed that in the US, it's a lot more common to eat certain things with your fingers rather than with a knife and fork. Pizza, French fries, chicken wings. In English, these things are in the category called finger foods for a reason, after all. We eat them with our fingers. Somewhere between around your first and fourth bite, your server will probably swing back around just to quickly check up on you, make sure that everything is okay with your food. You need any other sauces or napkins or another drink or a refill of your drink or anything else with your meal. So often you'll end up like with the food in your mouth like If you need to get the attention of your server for whatever reason during your meal, it is considered impolite in the US to shout across the room at them or snap your fingers at them. No, don't do that. Just just make eye contact with them across the room, maybe a little like head nod, just pretty subtle, it's their job. So as soon as you make eye contact with them, they pretty much know you need something and they'll come to see what you need as soon as they can. Once you're done eating, if you haven't finished everything, you are more than welcome to ask to take your leftovers with you. Now, at some places, the server will take your plate and go into the back and pack your food away and then bring the box back to you with your food in it. Whereas at other places, the server will actually bring you a box and then you have to pack away your own food. Then the server will usually ask you if you saved any room for dessert and coffee. If you don't want any dessert, then they'll bring you the check, usually hidden away in a small black folder. They leave it on the table saying something like, "I'll take this whenever you're ready." And then you're pretty much supposed to pay and go at that point. They're not rushing you, but yeah, they're rushing you. Like I said, servers get paid in tips and restaurants make more money if they can seat another group at your table, and sometimes there's a waiting list. So there's a lot of talk in the restaurant business in the US about turning tables quickly, getting people in and out and then a new group in. And yeah, I do miss some of my favorite foods in the restaurants in the US, but I gotta say, I absolutely love and appreciate the more laid back restaurant style here in Germany. There's no rush to get you in, get you out here in Germany. And yeah, I really do appreciate that. But I do miss some of my favorite foods in the US. Okay, so now it's time to pay. Unlike in Germany, it's not usually very convenient to split the bill in the US. That's actually another thing that I really like about eating out in Germany. Super easy to split the bill. But unlike in Germany, where sometimes you can't pay with a credit card. At some restaurants, they've told me no. In the US, you can almost always pay with credit or cash. Either way, though, you put the cash or the credit card in that little black folder thing, hand it back to the server, and then they bring it back to you with either your change or the credit card and credit card slip for you to go ahead and sign. Reading up online for this video, I found that tipping is still often listed at 15 to 20% of the bill, but I've heard some people saying that it's actually shifted up a little bit to more like 18 to 22%. So I would love to hear from people working in US restaurants. What would you say is now the standard tip range? You can add the tip to the credit card slip or make a line through that section and then leave cash if you want. But whatever you do, don't forget to tip your servers. Like I said, that's most of their wage in the US, so it's really, really important not to forget. Gotta leave a tip. Sometimes restaurants will automatically add the tip to the bill. For example, if it's a larger table. And then from what I've seen, it usually says on the menu that gratuity will be added, for example, for parties of 8 or more. And then of course, that is listed on the bill there. And you know, okay, the tip has already been included. I've often seen 18%. And so then you know, like, you don't have to give more. Of course, you can if you'd like to. I'm sure the server won't mind at all. But it does say there on the bill if the gratuity has already been added. So my question for you is, what's been your experience at restaurants in the US? And for people who have worked in restaurants in the US as servers or any other position, what would you like people to know before eating out in the US? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And also a really big thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to check out our Patreon page, you can find a link to that down in the description box below. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen. Wait. I can't even snap. My snaps suck. It's completely, snap is, oh, I snapped! I snapped when I didn't even need it. This video is making me hungry. For the host or hostess, the hostess, host or hostess. Testing. Get test it.